All right, we back with another episode R&R podcast where the X's and O's meet real world experiences. I'm your host, Richard Daniels.
I'm your other co-host, Rodney White. Fellas, before we get started, you know, I like to do a segment where we just give everybody their flowers. And first of all, man, what you guys are doing so far in the JV level and also helping on the varsity level is definitely big. In general, it's so tough these days dealing with kids and dealing with parents and what you guys are doing right now. And it's a great thing. And, I just want to give you guys your flowers up front because I know sometimes you don't get them from people, especially in the coaching world because everybody's trying to be the best coach, right? So nobody really give nobody high fives of what they're doing great, but you guys are doing an amazing job. And, just want to give you your flowers before we get started.
Yeah, so without further ado, we're going to introduce Kenny Anderson and Bobby Scriven. Fellas, welcome to the podcast.
Yo.
Appreciate you having us, man.
Appreciate you.
Pooh, go ahead and just kind of introduce yourself, man. Tell us a little bit about your journey and then just anything that, you would want them to know just before we get started.
Yeah, man. So most people know me as Pooh, but Coach KP, man, Kenny Anderson. I'm a coach at Walkertown. I've been coaching there for now 7 years. Have had some success. Just want to shape and mold the next generation, man, through basketball, through the sport I love. So thank y'all for having me on this podcast, and I look forward to discussing some things with y'all.
That's great.
Yeah, most everybody know me as Little Scriv, Little Bobby. I'm a novice in this coaching game, man. It's been 3 years. I was most recently at South Mecklenburg High School, but I've transitioned to Cuthberson High School. This will be our first season there. Also do a little bit of work with A-Skill development in the summer as well. Again, a novice in the game. Experienced some success right away, having a whole lot of fun with it. Just grateful to be in the room with some great guys. And looking forward to something special here this afternoon. Well, tonight.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm excited about this because we all have been JV head coaches, right? Myself and Rod, I was a JV coach for 6 years. Rod was a JV coach and a varsity assistant. So when we get to talking about, JV basketball, we all have probably all went through the same similar instances or frustrations or even successes with JV programs, and a lot of people don't really realize JV programs matter, right? Like that's the whole purpose of us getting on here today. In order for you to sustain a program, not a 1 or 2 year, your varsity team might be good here, but every now and then you're going to hit those bumps if you don't have JV programs to help you build, right? You got to have those kids that are program kids, and so I commend you guys wholeheartedly. Of course, me and KP, we rap all the time, man. We have a lot of talks, we bump heads, we fuss, we fight, but at the end of the day, we both have the same passion for kids. And then even with you, Bob, like when I told you about coaching, you was just kind of like, man, I'm trying to play. But now that you into coaching, you love it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're really into coaching, man. And so I was excited to see that, just see what you're doing with, Ace and your training and even now going to Cuthberson and what you did at South Meck. Like that's a big deal, man. So shout out to y'all first of all.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
I like to say I was able to play against Bob a little bit this summer. And one thing I can say about your coaching, man, is like, bro, you can draw some shit up. Like, I mean, you can, and like a lot of people can't, you know what I'm saying? But you can definitely draw some stuff up, and you call the timeout. We went on the run, and you came out and do something up, and y'all probably ran the play a couple times and knocked down 3 back to back and shit. The game was over for us because we were just out of it, you know what I'm saying? And then KP, just watching what you like. I don't get to watch you like your season games, but doing the lash, man, how hard your kids play for you. I think that is great. You know what I'm saying? Like I want my varsity kids to play hard as your JV team and play hard for you those couple years in the lash. And I feel like you're gonna get it this year, man. Go ahead and win that thing this year. But
yes, sir.
But I know that it's not for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can tell your kids like just watching them like dance in the locker room with you. Like the kids gotta love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? The kids gotta play for you. Like I just see that
Right.
out of you, man. So keep doing what you're doing over there at Walkertown, man, because you definitely bringing the energy over there.
Appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. So go ahead,
Yeah,
Rich.
bro. I was gonna say going into the first question, and I guess y'all kind of gave a little bit of instance, but one, how did you get into coaching? And then two, what made you want to continue to coach JV?
Well, I guess I'll go first. Yeah, I was in the middle of attacking it as a player. I was not trying to put the basketball down. Was maybe 2 or 3 months into fatherhood, and realizing that I didn't want to leave. And a good friend of mine, Marquise Grant, was the former head coach at South Meck for JV, and reached out to me and was like, "Man, I just want you around. I want you to come beat up on the boys. I want you to just be there. And it, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't." And Rich was the first phone call up, man. I'm like, "You think I can do that? You think it'll be all right? Like you
Right.
think I can transition into that?" And it turned into his boss, Christopher McDonald, just giving me a shot and just telling me, if you like it, you can stick around. And I hit the ground running. Absolutely fall in love with the process of not only building kids up, but attacking the game from the mental side as a coach. Like, it's a whole different battle, but it's very similar to playing.
Yeah,
Um, as you go through it. I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunity at South Meck, but I got a phone call and never thought I would be on the sidelines. It's something that I uh, joke about and talk about all the time.
yeah,
Yeah. I'll follow up, man. As a player, I always knew that I wanted to coach. I didn't know what capacity. So even when I was like a little kid, I used to like, I'm a coach. But kind of found my way into it. A lot of people probably don't know this, but I started with JV girls basketball at Flat Rock Middle School. Coach Jimmy Warmack gave me my first ever opportunity. I always knew that I wanted to impact kids. Just through the sport I love, again, like I said earlier. And so again, I expressed interest in Coach Jimmy. Coach Warmack gave me my first opportunity. From that, I'm a firm believer at building relationships. You get what you need when you build those relationships. So I've had a contact with Coach Jonathan Stowe at Carver. He was going to his first year, and he just needed his staff. So I don't know what led him to do it, but he asked me to become on his staff or whatever. There, man, I was able to grow and just kind of to foster some skills. And also, Rich, you know this, man, I'm very big on pouring back into the community that poured into me. So I was able to coach at Carver High School, and that's the school I graduated from. So that was very big for me, which led me up to Walkertown. And so I can remember just having the conversations with Rich while he was coaching at Glenn. A lot of people don't know this either, that Rich was trying to get me to help him at Glenn. And I was like, I want to coach basketball. He's like, well, we might have a ninth grade position. I'm like, well, if you can get me in there, Rich, just let me know, because I want to coach basketball. But that happened, and I used to always encourage Rich. I say, hey, man, if it's some coaching jobs in the city, you need to apply for them. And so as he talked about before in his previous podcast, he applied for some jobs. Then he landed Walkertown. And not knowing, I always told him, I said, well, if you get a job coaching, I'll help you in whatever capacity, not knowing that this fool was going to ask me to be his JV head coach. So here I am 7 years later, man. We've been in this game, it's coaching JV
man.
basketball. And a lot of times people be like, man, you've been coaching for 7 years. It's time for you to, graduate and be a varsity head coach. And I always tell them, man, my goal is to aid and help, at this moment where they are. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like my ministry is. That's why I feel like, that's where I am. So yeah.
Yeah, nah, man. Listen, that whole transition from Glenn to Walkertown was crazy because it was in the middle of COVID. Man, we had no idea what we was going into. Uh, we just kind of played it by ear, man, and end up, here we are 6, 7 years later, man. We kind of got a program now.
6,
Uh,
7.
Hey, I'm sick of hearing that. I'm gonna go on record. I'm sick of hearing that.
6,
And
7.
yeah, but man, yeah, man, I'm super proud of both of y'all, man, and Rod. Like, me and Rod always talk, and I always told Rod the same thing about a varsity job. Is like, man, you gotta apply, you gotta hear no, you gotta go through the process. Same thing with you, Bob. I'll tell you, and I even encourage KP all the time, like, bro, you ready to be a head coach? And he does tell me all the time, like, nah, I like where I'm at. I'm pouring into the kids, but I encourage him too, like, whenever you're ready, man, like, I'm gonna support you 100% because I'm seeing what you're doing with less. You know what I'm saying? So just imagine if you do get a program where you got what you need, you can actually build with talent versus, developing.
Right.
And so we're gonna kind of get into that, but again, this is just a full circle moment because we pretty much all grew up together. I've been on Ride for 10 plus years. Me and Scriv literally grew up at the Y, 4 or 5 years old, and then of course me and KP all the way from high school on up, and then just in our adulthood now, man. So it's a special moment for us.
For
Ooh,
sure.
So, with the next question, how do you guys actually balance developing players and also focus on winning games?
go ahead, KB.
Yep. So I never want to just focus on development. Well, a part of it, I want to help develop young men, just to be productive students, productive, sons, productive nephews. So it's not just about winning for me. It's about developing the young man and the individual first. And when you do that, I feel that like winning comes. The winning culture comes once you develop that individual. So that's what I try to like hang my hat on is developing the mental maturity for these kids. A lot of them come from at the JV level, they come from middle school where they aren't held to that standard or high school standard. And so my goal is to try to hold them accountable and teach them how to be young men first. And then, build that foundation. So I look at, when they come in as ninth graders, it's like they're literally the pups. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't really know what high school is about, and also being a student athlete. So my job is to stay on them about their grades, stay about their school life balance, and help them get to that next level. And if it's to play varsity, I try to push them kids to play varsity. If it's to play college at the college level, I try to push them to play at the college level. So just try to gauge and see where they are as individuals and help them develop as a human being first.
Nah, that's dope. Um, I kind of go into this space, and I'm famous for this quote. You can ask anybody that I've been a part of that staff. The only way, in my opinion, is to develop is through winning, and right. And the reason I say it that way, um, is because you can win at a multiple in multiple facets and a multitude of things, right? Like it doesn't have to be the game itself. It could be in teaching a kid how to go left and use their left hand. It could teach a kid to be able to stand up in front of a classroom and have a conversation and give a book report and things of that nature where they've never thought about these things as a seventh and eighth grader when they're coming out of high school. And then kind of twofold with me understanding that you can't play for me forever. Like I'm famous for saying that. Like I have it on a billboard in our locker room. Like, you can't play for me forever. My goal is to prepare you to become a varsity basketball player if that's your aspirations, and that's going to lead to success on the JV level.
Facts.
I am a big advocate for instance, at South Meck this past season. We had 3 kids play varsity minutes that were active JV kids. The varsity coach pulled them up, and they were valuable pieces of certain games. And again, as a JV coach, it takes a special person to do that. And that has to be your goal, and that has to be your vision, the understanding that you're preparing kids to be 7:30 athletes. I tell my boys all the time, there's no college coaches coming to see you at 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Facts.
That's not the focus. The focus is getting as good as you can at basketball so
Right.
that a coach at 7:30 can take a chance on you to help his program, to help his livelihood. And that transcends and shows a lot of things throughout the day-to-day piece of it. But again, if that's not your focus, um, it's tough for you to be a part of a JV program because again, it's about the building blocks of it. And you got to
Right.
have somebody who sees that on both sides, whether you're the head JV coach or the varsity coach, if that makes sense.
I'll be honest, like when I started coaching JV, I was young, like 21, maybe 22. And like when you're a young coach, everybody probably think you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. I ain't gonna lie to you, I was trying to win. So
Yeah.
Right.
I was trying to win. And then shout out to Coach Muse. Like he was the one that kind of like broke it down to me, like, listen, man, like I know you want to win. I know you trying to make a name for yourself, but I should be able to grab 2 or 3 guys to come play varsity by mid-season. They should be knowing
Right.
everything that we're running, and they get ready to go up there like, "Yeah, you can win. That's okay, but nobody giving state championship trophies to the JV program."
Yeah.
At
I'm
all.
like, at first, as a young coach, I was like, "Man, what are you talking about?" Like, I was like, "Man, whatever." Like, I don't know, weird. But now
Yeah.
that I got older and older and older, I'm like, bro, he's right. Like, it's about developing your program through JV to get guys to
Right.
varsity. But being a young coach, and you guys, you guys are young coach coming in when you guys first came in, like, yeah, we want to develop all the kids, but deep inside, you like, I got to go out here because everybody there, your mama there, grandma watching you. That
Yeah.
first game, you like, I got to win these games. Like, but now that I'm older, like, got some knowledge under my belt, like, it was good that Muse to tell me, like, listen, man, like, it ain't about that. But so, any young coach is going to watch this podcast, like, don't worry about the wins, man. Just focus on developing the kids. And I had to learn that myself.
Facts.
Yeah. Hey, listen, my first experience JV, like a learning lesson, uh, middle of the season at Glenn, point guard gets hurt. Uh, the best player on the team gets kicked off the team. So my JV team is rolling. I got a sophomore that's like, he gone. Like he is our best scorer. If he don't play, we don't win.
Right.
And so Monty comes to me and he just like, hey Rich, man, I know you're gonna be mad, but like I gotta pull this kid up. I was so hot. I was so mad at Monty. Like, yo, man, I'm not doing this no more. Like, nah, this kid need to play JV. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't understand it. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't understand it at the end of the day. Like you said, we're not getting championships. We're not getting a ring. We're not getting a medal. We're here to develop young men basketball wise, skill wise, and character wise. And so after that first year, it was like, okay, now we got that over with. I completely understand. And then, going forward, we had some success, man. But it's just funny to hear that, Rob, because I know me and KP, we've had those conversations like, man, you need to let this kid play JB. And I'll be like,
and
and
I
I'll be like,
and I Yeah, I also believe that's the competitor in all of us. Like we
yeah,
all want to win, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So we want to go with our best, right? So but at the JV level it's hard to say, "Hey man, like you can take my best and we still have to like you said earlier, Rich, do more with less." You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Mhm.
So
yeah,
it's a matter of just, being like as JV coaches, we have to be the most humble people because again, and just that quick kid could be called up or kid could be in both practices or whatever. And so like in that you have to be able to have a level head so, and be on the same page with your varsity coach. So, for the
Yeah.
betterment for that kid. You know what I'm
yeah,
And we
saying? But
went
we
yeah,
all competitors.
yeah,
and we went through that South this past year, man. We were tied for first place. We get to the last game of the year, and man, it's parents coming to me. It's parents coming to me. They're like, "Man, we gonna win the conference." I'm like, "Okay,"
Yeah.
but they don't know my starting point guard is going up to play varsity that night,
yeah.
All right.
And that's hurt.
and
That
I'm
hurt.
looking at them like, probably not. Yeah, probably not. But
Yeah,
like this kid got a chance to really cement himself
Facts.
in the program. And then it went to the head coach. He called me uh right before the game. It's like 2:45. School just got out. He's like, "Man, you sure? You sure? Can I take him? You sure?" I said, "Man, we need him to go up. We need him. We need him. Like he's done all that he can for me. He's again rolling, flirting with a triple double almost every night. Like, man, we gotta see if he can give us a spark on the varsity level." And he was like, man, I've been uneasy. I talked to my wife about it. I talked to the other coaches about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, take him. Take him. Like, that's my job. He's supposed to be ready. And it catapulted us into winning the conference tournament, and the rest is history. Like, but we don't do that without that sophomore coming up and really making waves that night, because we just didn't have it on the varsity roster at the time.
That's the maturity part too of like being a coach. It's like you have to understand I have to do what's best for the kid, but it's also a balance of like KP said, I'm competitive. I want to win, but it's also like, okay, well, I'm a team player, so you as a JV coach, you have to have that balance, and I feel like that's why it's so important because if your JV coach got like underlying, you know what I'm saying, issues or like, they have a different ulterior motive, at some point you're gonna bump heads on those issues or, it's gonna break down. The kid's gonna start, picking sides. And, I've seen that part too. Like, when I was on the JV and then seeing what was going on with the varsity, we always had those issues. And I always had to tell the kids, like, nah, I'm here to help, you know what I'm saying, this coach. Like, I know y'all, y'all rock with me. We have a good relationship, but like you said, I'm getting y'all prepared to go play for a title, something that means more. So that kind of goes into our next segue. Like, what's the biggest lesson JV basketball has taught you about leadership, and I guess about the development part? Like, what is the biggest lesson that you all have learned?
Uh, I mean, it's paramount. I think if you are a program and are looking to be successful, you have some younger guys who are playing at 7:30. Like, that's just what it is. Because now that we know this almost instant gratification space of basketball right now, the eighth grader that's a rising freshman coming in and he want to play varsity anyway. Like he's already trying to have that conversation with you. He's shopping himself around. So just understanding as a JV coach that you walking into a room where these kids already have those aspirations. So can you command the room, but also be selfless and understand you have to fall in line to what's going on at 7:30? And you gotta, like KP was saying, you gotta do less or more, and you gotta sacrifice. You gotta sacrifice, and you gotta understand that those things are gonna happen. So that was probably my biggest lesson. Because again, in the back of my mind, like Rob was saying earlier, I wanted to win too. But I seen sophomores playing varsity when I first got the
Yeah,
job as an assistant. I
yeah,
seen fifth quarter kids, and I knew that was the culture. And it's like, well, hey, you can't go against that, because at the end of the day, if you want to go to school, that's what it
yeah,
has to be.
yeah,
And then from the development piece, like again, as a JV coach, I know you got your stuff you want to put in and stuff you want to draw up and all of that, but you got to find a way that it fit in what's going on at 7:30, because a kid goes from potentially being a kid that can play, but if he don't know what's going on, he gonna sit beside you all game, and then now parents got questions, and he got questions because he the guy at 4:30, 5 o'clock, but he can't get on the floor at 7:30. But
yeah,
but everybody pulling him up.
Yeah, I like to approach it, man. So, Rich, you know this. Like, I'm very big on like off the court and outside of the gym, and so, like I always tell our guys, like how you do basketball is how you do everything,
hmm
and so like I try to approach development and coaching and leadership how I was as a hooper, back when I played basketball. So I just think again it's about the whole individual before the actual basketball player, and so that brings on leadership. So if you're not being a good student, you're probably not going to be a good basketball player. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
At some point, it's going to catch up with you. If you're not being a good son, you're being disrespectful, and you being a sloth around the house. All you do is play the game all day, and you expect to turn it on at 4 o'clock, like Bob said. Like it just doesn't work like that. And so one thing that I try to do is just be consistent with them. So I think it takes consistency. I think it takes patience. I think it takes tough love. You know, sometimes, man, like our guys, they pick on me. They call me bipolar, because you know, like you say, Rod, like I might be up dancing with them before the games, but in the same breath, I hold them accountable when they're wrong. You know what I'm saying? And so if y'all know me, and you know, if you've been around me, Pooh or KP or whatever is much different than Coach KP. And so I kind of have that itch or that mode that I get into, and that I have to hold them accountable to help them get to the next level of where they want to be. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Hey, they do. Hey, listen, he be laughing and joking, and then he just snap out like it's like it's like it's like an instant crash out, bro. And it's like you know 4:30, it's quiet in the gym, so sometimes like you can hear what he's saying, and, and I know them like the principal, the parents. I know they be laughing, man, but like we
yeah.
had those meetings, man. They know where we coming from. You know,
I'm
you
al-
gotta
I'm
hold it.
also cut. I'm also cut from that Andre Gould tree. So
Yeah,
if you know or have played for Gould, you already know what's up. So
yeah,
I
Oh,
yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
and
Like
that's you know, that's what I know. You know.
hearing you talk about Polar, like man, and
yeah,
like that again. You talking about like the first experience that I remember being a JV kid at Winston Prep my freshman year, and I used to tell Coach Mike Houston, I used to be like, Mike, how come Coach Gould always here? Ain't this your team?
Yeah.
And man, he would jump up. He'll go from quiet to 100 miles per hour, and
Yeah.
like a fear factor almost. Like
yeah,
so, man, I'm the same way. My boys think I'm crazy too. I
Yeah.
get it all the time, man.
So with the next question, like I have for you fellas is like, how do you guys actually like build that team chemistry? Me and Rich talked before. Thing that I do with my team after every practice is we just kind of like just ask them about how they day going. Like how was school? You know, how was your week? And I ask them about like what can we work on better. And it's been doing great because we've been building team chemistry. Everybody's talking more as a team. But how do you guys build team chemistry with some players that may have different goals?
Uh, Personally, I feel like I'm blessed because of my age. It's not hard to do. Some of the same things, some of the same music, some of the same experiences. Like I just got out of those. Um, I officially put the ball down 2-3 years ago, so I know what it's like to kind of be in that player mode, and going through things as a player. And then more specifically, so we kind of do this thing where we stretch as a group. Obviously, everybody does, but literally, I make it my mission to touch up. I dap up every single player, and I have a private conversation with them about whether it's school, home, basketball, me, whatever it is. I touch everybody up, and that's on both levels, as JV and varsity. Touch all the boys up, and we just talk before we really get into practice, and letting them understand like that's not for show, that's not for the varsity coach or somebody to see it. Like literally, um, in the trenches with you. Like I can even speak to a game. A game, most head coaches will kind of go sit on the bench and kind of get themselves in the mode. My old head coach at South had to like come get me off of the floor pregame, and I had to tell him like, nah, that's me. Like I want to be there. I want them to know that I'm doing this with them. So just being as open and vulnerable as I can with them, whether that's through conversation, actions, but really honing in on that before I turn into coach, before we start practices or games, anything of that nature.
Yeah. So I'll go back from so I understand like when we're talking JV, you might have a kid that's borderline varsity, you know, but then you almost you might have a kid that should have probably made the team, right? And so what I try to do is try to make everybody in a sense feel value, right? Like I don't really show favoritism towards any of my guys, you know, and I try to hold them accountable all the same. And so I think accountability is one of the things, but then also I try to help build that chemistry by meeting them where they are. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, Meeting them in a space of like, even if after practice, if you're trying to get, better, get shots up, I might get in the drill with them. You know what I'm saying? I might, critique and show the things that I was shown before, or what I may see kinks in their game of how I can add to them. So, and also I think it goes off just having a mutual respect for each player, each individual. Um, so, and then also I try to do team building activities, you know what I'm saying, outside of it. Like one activity that I try to do during the season, and I try to do it in probably about the first or second game where, when we break down at the end of the game, at the end of practice, it's kind of tedious and it takes a little minute, but we'll go around a circle and we'll say, at each of individual will tell another individual what they feel that they are good at. And so I'll say, "Hey, Rich, you're good at XYZ. Hey, Rod, you're good at, you coaching. You're good at coaching. You're good at taking charges. You're good at, doing XYZ. Hey, Bob, you can shoot the ball, lights out." And so one thing about that is you start to hear what your peers think about you,
Mhm.
and from that, that's when you start getting the roles, and so that's when we start delegating our roles to, our team. And so by that time, people will say, "Hey, I need to." If people think that I'm a shooter, that'll make them, "Hey, I need to get in the gym extra to get extra shots up." Hey, people think I take charges or I hustle well. So when we get in those drills where it's hustle drills, they're usually the ones that are competing in those hustle drills. If it's rebounding drills, if people think I should be the best rebounder, that's what they do. So that's what I deem as effective. And again, I'm very big on off the court. So I think team chemistry comes on not only on the court when we're practicing, but also, or practice on the plan, but also off the court. We always encourage them, "Hey, we got a team group chat. Like, hey, you get your own group chat. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, go to the game together, go bowling, go do whatever." Cause I know for me, when I was in high school and when I played ball, like we were, we were thick, like we were close as a team. And so I think that builds chemistry and that just builds rapport, with each other.
I think the hardest thing about coaching now is that the game is so individualized, right? Like when kids go home, you rarely see parents talking about what their kid can do to impact the team, right? Versus, well, you didn't score enough, well, you didn't shoot enough, well, such and such did this, and why you can't do, it's like
Mhm.
you don't. It's when you're teaching that as a JV coach, you're always talking about team and being selfless and like being together, but it's actually easier, in my opinion, a JV because they don't have as many distractions, right? Like they're not playing for championships and they're not playing for scholarships. So now, as a coach, you can get to those kids. And me and KP go through this all the time. On the JV, there's no egos. I mean, you have one or two kids, but for the most part, but the kids come in, no egos. They're willing to listen. They just excited to be there. And then
Mhm.
it's like, they get to that next level and now the cheerleaders out there, now the cameras out, now you know what I'm saying? Mama, hey, if you score 20 tonight, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bro, that was the one thing that I loved about coaching JV. Um, Especially with the kids that I had. Like I had a mediocre group where they was decent talent. I had a really good group that was like we went like 17-2. And then I had a group that was like, I think I had 11 kids, and 9 of them was freshmen. And it was like we starting all the way over. And I really like they have no clue.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? But you coach hard. And I watch all y'all like even Rod, man, when Rod was coaching JV, but Rod in there sweating like you know what I'm saying, bro? He in there like he coaching like he playing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I seen Bob this summer, bro. Is like he is down on the ground coaching, yelling like he into it. KP is yelling like the funniest thing I think KP does is like we might be playing a team and we might be winning. He just trying to get the team fired up. So he'll tell the ref like, give me a tech. And if the ref don't do it, he gonna do something. Tech. He might yell at him. He might slap the chair. You know what I'm saying? Like he just
Yeah.
it's to get the team morale going, but I love that because them kids just get super fired up, man. Like, like for real, man. It's funny to see it, but it's like that stuff matters. You know what I'm saying? Because those kids are never gonna forget JV basketball. Like, no matter what they do in varsity, bro, JV is your fun time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know hella people that was JV all county and all this, like, they had fun.
Right.
And you get the varsity and it's like, it's a job, bro. Like,
Yeah, you gotta fit a niche.
you know what I'm saying? So that like again, bro, I love what y'all are doing, man. And I think that, as we continue this coaching journey, um, you guys are always gonna be, even if everybody doesn't tell you, I'm gonna tell you like it, people are thankful for that.
Right.
We
I
don't.
also think that at the JV level, you're getting the mental reps for these kids for varsity. So whenever
Mhm.
they go to a in our conference we have like a Reedsville, or last year like a Andrews environment, or like a West Stokes. It's like getting those mental reps to whenever it's time for them to play their part and play a key component in those big games. They already been there, like Rod said earlier about the David Lash, like that I'm not gonna like say it like this, but our conference, what isn't that like our conference, JV wise, is some competitive teams, but like we don't see competition like that, like the Lash, like that's the best of the best that we see, right? And so those moments are just really pretty much gets them prepared for when they go to a bigger stage. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's us as JV coaches is just to get them ready for the bigger stage and have them go through those mental reps. And you see it all the time at JV games. You might go to a school where a coach or a team or a school might not take it as serious as we take it, but I always try to teach our guys that, hey, we don't play to the level of them, and we're trying to compete and get you guys ready for the next level.
Yeah.
So
I would have
Yeah.
to say, JV was so much fun, and I feel like it wasn't that much pressure on me when I was JV coach. And like, when y'all think about it, man, like just like, going to Subway, getting the subs for the kids, feeding your boys, getting the waters, because ain't really no budget for JV. So you just you doing at your own little statement you get,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But
yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it, and I love like the Lash. Like, I'm happy the Lash is still going, and I was able to play when I was in high school. When I was at East, I played in the Lash, and the excitement of the Lash, man, it's almost more exciting than the Frank. I could be wrong, but those Lash games, some championship games, some semifinal games, it'd be crazy. I remember playing against Glenn, and when Jeter was the head coach of JV, and we went in overtime. It was like one of the best games I ever coached as a JV coach, and we lost in OT, but it was a great game. And like the kids, man, like coaching JV was so much fun because the kids, like, they knew they still trying to learn everything. They low key scared too. They don't want to make no mistakes, so they gonna do
right.
whatever you tell them to do. You know what I'm saying? But once they get like varsity, that's when they kind of change up, and get too cool. But man,
Yeah.
Man, I had man, to that point, when I had a kid, we done had a job over at Cuthberson since June. I had a kid, and I just asked him. He don't know me that well. I asked him, I'm just looking at him. I said, "Bro, you nervous?" And he like, yeah. I said, "Bro, you don't have to be nervous. I know you were just an eighth grader last year, right?" And we fast forward to now, and we went through a little JV fall league, and he hit a shot to send the game in overtime. And I ran over on the bench, and I'm like, "Yo, you nervous now?" "A little bit."
A little bit.
And I'm like, "No, just understand, like, just live in the moment. Like
Yeah.
live in the
Right.
moment where you are now, a high school basketball player, all of that stuff."
Yeah.
Right.
And again, it's such less pressure. It's such more relaxed than varsity, because I mean varsity 2-3 games, and you take a tough skid. You can hear a pin drop in the locker room. You can hear a pin drop in the office. You don't even want to talk to each other as coaches, as
Right.
teammates. So, man, JV got his special place, man, for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. That kind of goes into our next question, man. And I know this is probably gonna be tough because there's so many moments, but like what's been the most rewarding moment in your coaching career so far? Like I can say, in my opinion, looking at Walkertown, um, I saw KP take a group of kids every year. I can probably only name one group that he's had in 6 years that, like, talent-wise are really good, like, one group. And the rest of them have been coaching, like, breaking it down, simple skill development or, finding ways, but, like, what is some of the most rewarding moments y'all have had as JV coaches?
Yeah.
KP.
Yeah, I would say that, like, I also pride myself in, like, people know me as a photographer, videographer, right? So they look at me, oh, this guy just takes pictures, he does videos, but it's fun to go into a gym with lesser talent and then compete against these guys who are supposed to be like basketball players, or these coaches who actually coach AAU all year and they got AAU kids on their JV team. Like, but it's actually fun for me to go out and compete against those guys and actually be in games and actually win some of those games, right? And so that's kind of been one of, like, I don't want to say the biggest reward or the biggest thing of my coaching career, but I love to see it, because sometimes people be pulling out their hair, wrapping their brain around, like, how are these guys beating us or in that game or whatever. And like you said, Rich, I've had, like, last year, I I would say last year and maybe the year before last, I think, or maybe 3 years ago, where I may have had somebody that's over 6 foot, but all my other teams have been Smurfs. They've been very short. So again, just getting those guys that compete and just play hard, regardless of whatever. So again, that's kind of been the most rewarding thing, is being able to compete against more talent or better talent, and you know and for people to be like Rod, or people to be like, man, y'all, I walk in the gym, it's like, hey man, y'all small, but y'all can, y'all play hard. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna compete. And now we build a culture to whereas people know that if they're gonna play Walkertown's JV, or when they come see Walkertown, they're gonna be in for a dogfight, no matter who they are. And that's why I try to teach our guys, because we had the opportunity to scrimmage against our varsity guys. And so Rich would be the first to tell you, I'm the main person in the gym that's gassing my guys up. Like,
Yeah.
when my guys score a bucket, excuse my French, like, I'm on varsity ass, like, yo, we on y'all, like, we on y'all rump. Like, and I'm talking jump, I'm talking cash jump. And when my players see that, they know that they have a coach that's behind them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They know that they have
Yeah.
a coach that's going to push them to be, that regardless of what they do, win, lose, or draw, that they're going to be with them. So that's one thing I try to do. And that's a way of competing, that, hey man, regardless of what it is, who we are, like this year, I know I'm probably going to have another team full of Smurfs, but guess what? Do trust and believe we are going to compete. Like,
Yeah.
competing is a non-negotiable. Like, I don't care if we can't score the basketball, if the other team don't score, then guess what? We just gonna be some non-scoring mugs.
Yeah.
But guess who's gonna come out on top? It's gonna be us every time,
Yeah.
because we're gonna compete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, mine just happened, to be honest. Like, kind of given a space where transitioning to a new school, and not really knowing kids, and figuring them out, and figuring out how I can push them, figuring out what buttons I can touch and tag on. We're in our fall league, and wins and losses don't matter, but we end up winning the game. But the space appointed is kind of going into a situation where we were coaching against a former kid of mine.
Yeah.
And a former kid of mine, I like his dad comes and sit right next to me. I coached his brother. I coached the older kid, his older son, and AAU and whatnot. And his dad come and sit by me. He said, "What you thinking so far?" I said, "We probably gonna punch y'all in the mouth."
Yes, sir.
And yeah, and he looked at me like I said, "Yeah, I know it ain't been that long, but they kind of taking on the mantra of their coach." And they're playing the game. It goes to maybe about the third or fourth quarter. I think it's like halfway through the third. The former player of mine is like turns, is taking the ball out next to me, and he looked at me like, "Yeah, this is a Scriv team for real."
Yeah.
And I'm like, like just being able to really put your stamp on a group of kids and
Yeah.
had them, like you saying, flying around, cut from a cloth. Where at my first high school and even my second high school at Parkland under Coach Turner, RP, man, you had to play hard. Like that's the bare minimum. That's what gets you in the door. And just really seeing a group of kids go into a game where a program is notorious on the JV level. Like they won 25 games last year. At my old school, we knocked them off, but we go to this school where it's in Union County and they are laughing stock and people don't really take the program serious. And we look this school in the face like, yeah, y'all in a dogfight. Like, I don't know what you think, but
Right.
this is a little different. And that's my favorite part about being a coach, being able to come in and change the narrative and change the culture and just kind of put your stamp on that piece of basketball, because that's so gratifying, because these kids today, as we know, some of them may not even ever think they can play that hard. They don't
Right.
even value playing that hard. They're looking for someone to push them to be that. And if you can succeed at it, man, it's dope to see.
Yeah.
It's dope to see.
I think 2 rewarding moments for both of y'all. Bob, the Phenom Hoop League with your AAU team, like just to see them, the record that they had this summer, that said a lot about your coaching. You know what I'm saying? For that program, because you really just started with that program, what, last summer maybe?
Yeah, last summer it was 16U. We gutted the team a little bit, and then we go to 17U this past summer. So that was year 2.
Yeah, I mean, and y'all were in the top of the records for the most part. Like kind of like, you know, I did Phenom for a couple of tournaments, but just when I was actually doing the Phenom tournaments, looking at y'all record, I'm like, oh no, bro, I ain't kicking ass.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
aside from the high school space, man, it was dope to get 9 kids together and put 6 of them in school. 6 of them got offers, 25 wins. And I was probably a bad guy more times than not, because I would always tell them every week, man, we're not rolling the ball out. I know how y'all feel about AAU, but I'm not putting my name on the line. I'm not putting this program name on the line. I'm not making a call for you and you can't play the game the right way. I know this the summer, but can you play the game the right way? Can you compete? Can you share the ball? Can 4 or 5 passes be made? And man, that group, man, shout out to them, all 9 of them. We had 10 total that dressed, but mainly 9 guys. For them to buy into that, man, it was dope to be the regular season champ for the first year. That was dope.
Yeah, and then
That's dope,
with
Scriv.
KP, 2 instances. I would say 1 year we came in late to West Oaks, and if y'all ever been to West Oaks, I hate that environment. I hate that gym. Like I mean, it's just like, you know, it's just it's like a rival, you know, it's a rival.
Yeah.
And so we come in the game late, bro, and KP down 20. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here like, yo, what's going on? Because they
Mm-hmm.
get whooped. And we come out the locker room to warm up because I don't think we had a girls team at the time. And man, listen, when I say I don't know what he did, I don't know what he said to them, but listen, they had that demon look, like everybody was like locked in.
Yeah.
KP and the coach going back and forth, Kid and the assistant JV coach going back and forth. You shut up. No, you shut up. No, you shut up.
Yeah.
But it was like
Yeah.
that was probably one of the best moments that I loved about, you know what I'm saying, watching the JV group. Is like they relentless. You know what I'm saying? And they take on the attitude of their coach. You know what I'm saying? So again, I do think that's a big piece. And even with Rod, when I watch Rod with Walkertown JV, even though listen, KP, I don't know what he did to the boys because all of them quit on him, but when he was coaching,
Yeah. We need to talk about that. All right, we can talk about it off camera, because what's up with that, bro? Golly.
but
Them
listen,
boys are dropping like flies on us.
but when Rod had that JV group with
Yeah.
Landon and Sterling and
Oakland.
Jones and then Oak, man, listen, I was like, yo, where these kids come from? You know, because we like prior to this, only thing I knew about Walkertown was Jalen Cone. You know what I'm saying? So then when we see the JV, we started coming to the games. I think at Glenn we played them, and the atmosphere was crazy. Like Rod kicked my ass one game. Nah, bro, I'm talking about dog. I ain't have my football players yet, but you know what I'm saying. But it was like he just changed the atmosphere of Walkertown, and you know what I'm saying. And then it kind of just carried over. You know, man, those are the like, from my opinion, those are the rewarding moments that I saw from y'all, and I'm sure y'all have a bunch of.
I also think it's very cool. You know, I've been coaching now for close to 8 or 9 years now. So it's cool to like run into your old players in a store or just random setting, and they just kind of pour their heart out. Like, hey, coach, man, I remember the things that you used to tell us. You know what I'm saying? I remember those things that you used to, you know, to try to instill in us, and they kind of can repeat it verbatim. You know what I'm saying? I would say that's the biggest reward for me, is to see those kids, you know, 8 years later, and see what the production that they're adding to their communities, to their families, you know. And some kids even have families now. And so to see them, like I have some kids that are fathers, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, and so they can pay it forward to their next generation. That's very rewarding.
Solid. I was gonna say the same thing, man. Just seeing your kids like graduate high school and then go to college and have families and get married. That's kind of what I get excited about, because I'm like, dang, I coached this kid, you know,
Right.
and you know, some kids, unfortunately, some of them, you know, they go a different path, and we can't save them all. I know we want to save them all, but unfortunately, we can't save them all, and I hate that, and I hate if I see one of my kids I used to coach on the news for the wrong reason. But I know
That
I can't say
happens.
all. I gotta like live with that. But man, the rewarding thing is also is my coaching peers for me. Like just knowing that people respect me in the coaching game, like I respect everybody on this podcast and just
Facts.
coaches in general. Like you will hardly ever hear me say anything bad about a coach, because we give so much time to this game
Right.
with the kids that we don't even have time to our family and our friends. It's a lot of times I wanna go places, but I'm in Rock Hill. You know what I'm saying? The whole weekend, you know what I'm saying?
All summer long.
All summer in Rock Hill,
Oh,
you
so
know?
alone.
Yeah. Hey, look,
So
I
that's
dipped my big toe in the AAU circuit this summer too, so I
Yeah,
see what y'all been talking about.
Welcome in, bro. Welcome in.
Shout out to
Stay,
so
Team Pittman.
stay a while. Stay a while. You boys need it. Stay a while.
so jumping into the next question, man, how do you guys, like, keep the practices fun and also keep them competitive?
I'll go. So you know, Rich Rich kind of get on me for this, but on the varsity level, you know, me and Ked, we try to get out there with the guys, and so he's like, you know, how can y'all get out there with them and not critique and show them? But for our JV guys, I would say I don't require anything from them that I haven't gone through myself or I wouldn't do. And so if you come in a random Walkertown practice, you'll see me on the baseline with, you know. A lot of people probably don't remember big KP, right? But kind of work myself back into shape to where I can, you know, afford to be on the line with them. I can get in the drills with them. And so again, I think from a competitive standpoint, if they see Coach KP running hard, if they see Coach KP competing in the drills with them, like they're more prone to go harder. And you'll start to see it in our practices when, you know, we're doing one-on-ones or we're doing, you know, two-on-twos, or if I might throw myself in there on a shell drill, you know, if they see me sprint to my spot, they're more prone to try to show me up because they think, oh man, this old hell ain't about to show me up, you know. And so I try to be competitive that way, but then also just get out there and show them my experience, you know, and you know, I always say, my dad used to always say, does your video match your audio? You know how you watch a Kung Fu movie, right? Like, you know, sometimes it doesn't always match up with the audio, but
yeah,
Right.
uh, does what you do match what you say? You know,
yeah.
and so that's one thing that I try to, you know, pride myself in is actually not just talking the talk, but actually walking and leading by showing versus leading by talking.
Man, nah, KP, that's a perfect answer. Like I can't stress that more. I was I'm a firm believer again. You you can't coach this game at this level if you haven't done it. So you have to be able to, again, lace your boots up and lace your kicks up and get in between those lines and show a kid what it's like to sprint to a rotation, what it's like to over communicate defensively, what it's like as a point guard to talk a kid through knowing all 5 positions on the floor for a play and being able to talk a kid through those spots. Then I like also keeping it fun. I'm a firm believer in this. I could be calling for a water break and yeah, but check up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Check up. I just want you to know.
Yeah,
I just
it's
want you
there.
to know everything I'm saying. I ain't saying it just to say, like, I can still do this. I want you to know, like, again, I ain't barking because if I'm telling you to do X, Y, Z, it's because I can too. And I think the boys gonna always relate to that. Always. It allows you to kind of take that coach hat off and then be in the room, so to speak. To where you can balance again, being that coach and being one of the guys. Because at the end of the day, man, you see these kids 3.5, 4 months and days in a row, and you gotta relate somehow. And sometimes checking that ball up and playing, that's the best way to relate.
Right. Also, I think, for us, we're kind of getting, we're not old, but, staying up with culture, staying up with terms. Yeah, but staying up with culture, staying up with like the current terms and just, and granted, I'm not like not being like a unk or anything, but just making sure that you can relate to them, like listening to what they listen to sometime. I can't listen to too much Rod Wave or No Cap or Top Op, but just knowing how to speak their language too. And also, kind of bridging that gap and bringing them to our world and what we're accustomed to. And so I think a large part of time is like some coaches try to be a dictator of this is how we're going to do it. And this is what I'm always used to accustomed to. But sometimes with this generation of kids, like sometimes you gotta step a foot in their world. And from that, when you step a foot in their world, then they know that they have a trusted person that they can, go to or even listen to, and I think that's another thing is having that barrier, because a lot of times, we have those older coaches that they don't know how to relate because they're so used to that old way of thinking. And from what I know, like, the old way doesn't always work. And so just being versatile and being able to, speak their language too.
Imma just say this first of all, I ain't jumping out there to play with nobody no more. Okay, let's just get that straight. When I
You can
retire
shoot
from
though.
that, I can still shoot the rock. Listen, all right, that ain't going nowhere. All right, but I ain't getting out there and playing, bro. Too many Achilles, too many ACL injuries from these coaches that are peers of mine, and I just refuse to be on that list because then I ain't coaching no more. If I got to be on a little motorbike, hey, if I got to be on a motorbike, if I got to come in there in a boot, I didn't experience that before, bro. I'm done. So
But the kid, and man,
I,
it's tough to say that now. The kids talk so crazy.
They do talk crazy.
they,
The
they do,
kids,
but you know what? I can talk junk too, and it don't matter. Okay, I'm just gonna talk, and I'm just gonna keep talking shit until you know what I'm saying. They just like, you know what, whatever, coach. I ain't trying to hear it no more. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. I think what y'all do, man. Like I said, I'll see it from both sides, or from both of y'all, and even from Ryan. Like we are older than them. There is an age gap, but everybody is in tune with their kids, right? Like, Ryan, we talk about the culture over at NCLA, which is a little different, but like now you're kind of bringing them into your world, and they're kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's vice versa. Like
And I'm
you're,
over there
you're,
listening to country music, man. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Whatever get them play hard, I do whatever it takes,
Whatever.
And the same thing goes for us. Like sometimes I like KP had a speaker in the locker room, and they'll play their music. They'll connect to the ox, and sometimes we be like, bruh, that's awful, but they love whatever they love to hear. Like I can't take too
Whatever.
much in. I can't listen to too much NBA YoungBoy, but
you know,
that's they goat. You know what I'm saying? Like they worship the ground that this man walk on, and if that's gonna get them to run through a wall, hey, by all means, hey,
whatever
y'all,
it takes.
whatever it takes, you know what I'm saying? But I just love the fact that, man, like we all in tune with the kids. Like I look at the coaching staff over there at Cuthberson, man. Y'all got a coaching staff that's like they relate to the kids. You know, same thing with us, man. Me, KP, Grace, Kid, Rock. Like we just, you know what I'm saying? We ain't old men. You know what I'm saying? Like we still can, you know, and we known and you know what I'm saying? So we can relate to them and they start to see that. And it's like, okay, that's the trust. That's where they feel the trust at.
Yeah, yeah, it
You
go
know,
a
And there's
long
no
way.
disrespect. There's no disrespect for the older guys either, though. I mean,
right,
I feel
right,
like you have to have a balance of all,
right,
and
right.
you know,
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
gotta have that old head. But you also have to be effective. You gotta have younger, you know, coaches that can actually relate. And like you say, Bob, like get out there and show.
I think one thing that I've been doing lately is just like giving my assistant coaches opportunities also during practice to kind of like see how would you run your
Hmm.
team. So we
Right,
always do the last
right.
30 minutes of practice. We do like a scrimmage, and that's what competitive and fun for the kids. The
Yeah,
kids love playing, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I have this coach over here, well, Coach Jeter, and then Coach Doug, uh, and then they be like, I sit back. I'm just the ref. I just,
yeah,
I sit back and just to watch them like get hyped up and talking junk to each other. Like
Yes,
it,
sir.
it it's like, damn, I got some guys on my staff that's locked in, and we just
Right.
scrimmaging, but the kids like, nah, white team gonna win today. No, blue team gonna win today. Like so I just, for you guys, man, like just give you guys like, man, make sure the kids are always having fun. And also just keep it competitive, man. And like I said, like I'll say it is, I know Rich probably feel the same way. Like I'm nothing without my JV coach and my varsity assistant coach. Like I can't do everything. I'm nothing without them. So I always try to praise them. And also I try to like let them do their thing because maybe one day they might branch off and get a job. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So we're
yeah. Nah, right. That's good that you said that, man. And like I'll share this because a lot of people don't know this, man. Like when me and KP talk off camera, when it's just us, like we went and sat down and we had like a serious talk this summer. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things of like he was just like, "Hey, man, I just need to know that I'm valued." And that's a piece that a lot of people don't understand. Is like sometimes you have to tell your coaches, "Hey, man, I appreciate you," or you bring value to the program because a lot of times you're gonna get cussed out by parents. The kids are not gonna respect you, or you go through those turmoils during the season, and so sometimes they have you question yourself as a man. You know what I'm saying? And so, just for us to have that talk this summer, it was like he needed to hear that, and I needed to say that. You know what I'm saying? And that conversation had needed to be had. And I think that's a big part of uh, great coaching staffs is the accountability piece. Because we are friends, sometimes it is tough to have those conversations.
Yeah.
But I think in the long run, it betters the friendship. You know what I'm saying? Because now we are like, okay, I get where you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? I tell them all the
Yeah.
time, like, if we friends, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna do whatever it takes to help keep this ship afloat.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless
Hmm.
of personal feelings, we here to do a job, and then outside of this, we could talk about the other things. You know what I'm saying? But
And again, I
um,
think that's just working out things like, and what we try to instill into our kids is just communication.
mhm,
Lot of things can be handled if us as men or us as individuals, people, if we just talk. And a lot of times people operate in offense. And our kids, especially, like you can't. It's like, oh, if you're getting on me, it's like, why are you always getting on me? Like, what,
right.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's just me communicating. You know what I'm saying? And so, a part of being a good coach and at the JV level and even at the varsity level is just being an effective communicator, learning how to talk to people, learning how to express yourself in a productive way. And so that's what we're what I'm big on. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and then
just
understanding
communicating.
you can't group them kids up like you were saying earlier. It got to be individualized over and over again to meet the kids and meet each kid where they're at, and
Absolutely.
that'll end up yielding to success because if they trust you, then you can teach them anything about
yeah,
basketball.
Anything.
They just got to
yeah,
Right.
trust you.
yeah. So I told y'all, man, like when we get towards the end, I'll tell you what the time is. Like we just been rapping, bro. An hour and 4 minutes, something went past, and it's like, bro, we could be on here all day, all you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But I would say, man, like the last question I'm gonna kind of leave off, but I want to hear from y'all. What are three things, like three core values you pride yourself on, and how does that go into your coaching philosophy, or how does that go into your, I guess, everyday mentality, bringing that to practice or to games, or just, you know what I'm saying, just carrying that throughout the day? Like, what are your three core values that you guys like this most important to you? Man, I'll go with Rod first because usually, me and Rod, we just ask questions. Rod, like, what are three values that you really like believe in?
Well, for me, I always want to, even if I'm having a bad day at work, right? Like I don't bring that to practice. Like, I always want to have energy when I walk through the door. I always want to be smiling. I always want to be ready to go. Uh, and like I was telling my assistants, like always want us to be on point, which means it shouldn't be no hiccups. Like we should be knowing what we're doing. Like we get into the next drill. We get into the next drill. Water break. We get into the next drill. So so just energy, um, being organized is a big thing I want to work on a lot this year for me. Um, and we kind of hit it earlier. I mean, I want to this year. I want to do more activities. Like I want to do more team outings, bowling, going out to eat. Try to just talk to these guys about other stuff instead of basketball because it's gonna go flat. So I think me as a coach, I want to be more involved with my kids. I have a different culture or ANCLA.
Yeah,
So, this is a challenge for me. Last year we had a great season. We did some really good things for my first year over there, but it's still a challenge because, I'm not used to coaching um this type of culture. So I'm trying to change and bring my culture to a whole different situation. So yeah, just bringing energy every day is what I definitely want to do, being on point with everything I do when we have a practice, and just be more team bonding. That's what I really want to focus on this year. And I think if you do those three things, for me, in my opinion, you're gonna be able to win every game because you like this, you'll fist. Can't be broke.
Right.
KP, go ahead.
I would say if character is kind of like leading the charge on that. I like to say that I always tell the guys again. My quote is life is not always about what happens to you. It's about how you respond.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
a lot of times our kids we like to go off the handle, or even us as individuals as men, like we go off the handle of what how somebody makes us feel or how that moment makes us feel. But again, like I try to reiterate, hey, life is not about what happens to you. It's about how you're going to respond to what happens to you. And so, like to carry that on the court, it's always the next play mentality. So, that's a major part. I would say also, just mentorship. Um, that's very big again, because, like Rod said, like the basketball gonna stop bouncing one day, and they they ain't gonna remember that that moment, but they're gonna remember how, again, how coach helped them, how coach helped them see and value, them as a person. You know what I'm saying? And then that leads me to my last one, is just relationship. And because I know him, I mean, Coach KP ain't gonna be coaching for 10, 20 years.
yeah,
I just don't see myself doing that, right?
yeah,
But I do know that I'm gonna have a long lasting impact on these players and on these kids longer than I will be coaching. And so the goal is, if I'm coaching these kids, that 10, 15 years down the line, that they are coaching and they are investing and they're pouring back into their community and their kids and their next generation. And so it kind of is like a snowball effect, because if I can leave a long lasting mark on their lives, then they can leave a long lasting mark on another generation's life, and then that generation can leave a long, you know what I'm saying? So it just kind of continues to snowball. So my big thing is just building relationship and trying to meet those kids where they are.
yeah. Scrib.
Man, I got three, and I've been kind of saying it as long as I've been in coaching. To inspire, impact, and then lead. Just inspire because, again, man, I love this game. Like, I've been playing this game since I was 3 years old at Winston Lake YMCA, and I still love it the same way at 32 as a coach. and allowing the love to be in the forefront of everything, right? Experiencing the highs, experiencing the lows, but I'm always showing that love and love for the game, love for the kids that I'm around, and love for whatever the environment it is, whether I'm with Ace, whether I'm with Cuthberson, knowing that I'm moving in that fashion. And then as far as inspiring, just being transparent with them about how you can be a better basketball player, be a better young man, be a better son, be a better nephew, be a better cousin, be whatever you want to be, but be the best that you can be at it.
Yeah.
Um, and then leading. And if I'm not leading the right way, like we got practice at 3:15, I got to be there by 2:15. If we got a game, AAU game at 1, I'm there at 12. Not only am I there at 12, but my wife and my daughter there at 12 too. Like if you're a part of what I got going on, you show up the same way I show up. And it's some tough conversations and whatnot to make all of that happen. But to have people on board that really, really believe in those things, and focus on those 3 things with me, it goes a long way. Like I had a kid that transferred out of the school I was previously at as a JV kid, and came and sat in my office on Friday for an hour and a half. And all he wanted to do was just talk. And all he kept saying was, Coach, I miss you. Coach, I miss you. Coach, I miss you. Coach, I miss you. And like made my day because very quickly the impact is right where it needs to be. And I coached the kid for 1 year. I did
Yeah.
enough to where when that ball stopped bouncing, like KP said, he'll remember Coach Scriv, and that's what it's really about.
Yeah. For me, man, I think mine changed kind of like day to day, just depending on, the role or the hat that I have to wear. Like it's tough because working in the school system and coaching high school and coaching AAU is never ended for me. Basketball is never ended for me. KP will tell you I'm always talking about basketball or Walkertown or you know what I'm saying. I'm on the go, and so I think just being genuine slash being intentional is like my number one. Only because I feel like that's how I receive my blessings. You know what I'm saying? Like what I pour into these kids, I think I get that back sometimes in different, you know what I'm saying, different blessings. And a lot of people may not understand that, like, you know what I'm saying? But if you in that culture world, bro, when you do this, like you receive blessings. And so I think that's my number one. I would say value in relationships. We talked about that last week with Brittany as far as like everything's not transactional. Um, you have to have genuine people in your life. You have to have people around you that's going to make you better, that's going to hold you accountable, and that's going to always give you the real. Because sometimes, bro, we as men we put so much on ourselves. Like we try to carry the weight of the world, and so, but sometimes you're just gonna be down. Sometimes you're gonna feel like you're not doing enough. But you got to have good people around you that's like how we telling each other, hey, bro, like, nah, I appreciate what you do. You know what I'm saying? But you also got to have those people that's like, nah, man, you're better than that, or you could be doing so much more with yourself. Like you have to have those genuine relationships, and everything can't be, transactional. And then the last thing I would say, man, just for me, on a maturity level, just trying to grow spiritually. Like, I it's tough because they take God and they take church out of everything, and if you say stuff, they cancel you or they fire you. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's
Right.
hard to do that sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to grow spiritually, man. But like I always tell myself, I just want to be more intentional with, getting closer to God. And so I have my times where I'm like really into it and I'm focused, and I have my times where I'm super busy and I feel like I'm falling off. And then when I fall off, I can feel myself changing. I can feel a difference. You know what I'm saying? So those are
Right.
like my three things that I really like try to value, and sometimes they change. Like, again, with anything, but like for the most part, being consistent, those are the three things that I really want to try to carry every day. When I bring that to Walkertown, like if I'm having a bad day, bro, no matter what, I gotta go in there and get them kids 100%. That's it.
Right.
Because when coach come in there and he off, the vibe is off.
Off.
You know what I'm saying? Or it's a day that we don't get better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, man, I just like being able to be in these spaces and talk basketball and just like it be positive, man, because we just, you know, as coaches, bro, we go through so much stuff.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Parents don't value good coaches. And I have to tell y'all, all y'all are good coaches. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're good at what
Yeah.
you do. You're good in the space that you're in, the mentor. You play many roles. We talked about that, Rod. You're a dad, you're an uncle. You know what I'm saying? You're a therapist. You're a mentor. You're a disciplinary. You're the Uber
Uber
driver.
driver.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You the DoorDash. You got to go take them to get some food and pick them up. You know what I'm saying? So, man, like, bro, keep doing what y'all doing. Like, in order for the basketball to grow, like, there has to be people that have love for the game and you know what I'm saying, really know what they're talking about. And if I didn't, you know, we wouldn't be on here if I didn't think y'all knew what y'all was talking about. Like, you know, we got
I
people
look at
calling
it.
and
I
asking.
look at it as like we are the new Lewis Lowrys. We are the new, you know,
That's a name right
those,
there.
you know, like those guys who were before us that, you know, I remember like Lou, he trained me. I didn't pay Lou to train me. You know, he just wanted to invest.
Yeah,
He just wanted to see me as a better human
yeah,
being. You know, I think about Coach Gainey, Coach Jonathan Gainey, like I didn't pay Coach
yes,
Gainey
sir.
to train me.
Yeah,
He just wanted me to be a better human being. And so I
and
look at it
Gainey
as,
got a
man,
million drills.
I look at it as we're the new them, you know. It's kind of like they kind of pass the torch off to us, and now it's time for us to again invest in. And I commend you and Rod for Coach Rich and Rod for creating a space for basketball talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know, you get from JV to, you know, Big Cuz with Josh, like, or with Josh Pittman and Howard. Like, those guys are pros, you know what I'm saying? So you're talking about basketball at the highest level to even the JV level. So that's big, bro. Like that's commendable
Yeah,
for y'all.
yeah. Nah, man,
And
we
Rich, to
appreciate it.
give you flowers on that, dog. You come from, I remember being at Fulton Y for 2 summers locked in with Pops.
Yeah, yeah,
Pops, Pops didn't ask for a dime. He opened every avenue and space of Fulton Y and literally made us into some basketball players. And
yeah,
man, you've been like it's been a part of you for a while, man. It's just it's a blessing to be a part of this and to see again what you're doing. And likewise, right? I remember coming to Kernersville. Wow, I know what the vibe was out there. Like you was again really getting to it, literally living in Kernersville. Wow,
yeah.
and creating a space for K Vegas before you got involved with NCLA,
Right.
man. And like it's dope for it to come full circle for sure.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man, fellas, this has been great. We had an hour and 18. I'm not gonna hold y'all no longer than that. Listen, man, I'll make sure that I get this out first thing tomorrow. I'm gonna probably edit it tonight or first thing in the morning. But this is dope, man. Again, continue to carry the torch, like KP said. Good luck this season. I know y'all just finished with the tryouts. First game, the scrimmage is coming up soon. Bob, same thing to you. KP Wednesday, we at it. Hey, listen.
We at it.
Hey, the hunting season is here.
Hunting season.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm super excited, man. And so this is episode 6 R&R podcast, man. We got 2 really great coaches, Bobby Scriven, KP
Yes,
Anderson.
sir.
Peace out.
Big Cowboys, man.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah.